Hello, everybody. Joel Marshall here. This is lunch therapy. You caught me taking a bath. I'm out here taking a bath in my backyard. And, I put these grapes like right here because I know animals love grapes. It's one of the things that we've realized on the show. They love grapes and they love pumpkins. And I'm trying to catch this crow that's up here. I'm not trying to catch him. I just want him to, eat some grapes, I put bread down. Maybe he'll come and, here he comes. All right, in through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. On the show, we breathe at the top of the show. Let it go. Mainly because breathing is good for us. It has been proven that breathing is good for us. So if there's anybody breathing denier, it's been proven. So continue to breathe all day. Those of you non-breatharians, I don't know, I think you got to get your head checked. In through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. And what better place to get your head checked but lunch therapy? Let it go. Holy guy fly. There's Guignol. I see Guignol is here saying hoy. I look good in there, don't I? Yeah, I need one of those back scrubbers, I think. This is going to be a good one. Friday, as Joe Fury would say. Friday. Fried egg, as some people would say. I don't know. Do you know anybody that calls it fried egg? I don't really know anybody, but take off your shirt. In through the nose, out through the toes. I'm still working on my physique, Guignol. Let it go. For those of you that are into experimentation on your bodies, I have stopped eating processed sugar as much as possible, and it's changing my voice. My voice is changing. I'm hitting puberty finally. Holy mackerel, Todd. Holy mackerel. Free balling Friday. All right. One more. In through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. Let it go. We're going to need our sanity today because we have a very sane person on the show today. His name is Jarrett Bryant, and he's a filmmaker. Somehow, he got his shit together enough during COVID to write and direct an entire film in Eugene, Oregon. So, yeah, the God music. Cue the God music. I mean, let's give him a round of applause already. He's not even on yet. It's just a round of applause. Let's see what Just Jay says. I start working on physique on June 22nd. Oh, I like it. You have a scheduled time. I'm going to live on water and carrots and exercise. Well, I read this book. This is my latest I read a book thing. I read this book that's called Nature Wants You to Be Fat. I don't know who wrote it, but it sounds kind of like a genius. And he said, basically what you didn't want to hear is don't eat sugar and don't eat salt. And do like intermittent fasting, which sounds like a torture to me. Are you still braiding back your back hair? I don't have back hair. I barely have chest hair. But now that I stopped eating sugar, it's gonna be like one of those really hair bearers. I don't know what I'm talking about. Speaking of Todd, we've got a roving reporter scene. I know a lot of you are into the movement. Birds aren't real. Todd is really sinking down the old rabbit hole. The old I don't know what I'm trying to say, but he's really getting into the conspiracy theory. Here he is. This is Todd Lee reporting from Seattle, Washington, I believe. I don't know.
Hello, Joel, and lunch therapy-ers.
Gotta crank this up.
I'm sitting here unloading my truck, and then I see this.
Oh, look at those birds.
You know what's happening there?
What?
They're charging.
Oh, they charge on the power
lines. Buzz
lines.
in my wallet because they keep on scanning my credit card.
Oh.
So I've shut down my credit card, my ATM.
Smart.
I'm also calling Social Security service to make sure that they're not getting hacked.
That is some smart work.
Good
work there, Todd. Thank you for that. Now we're going to just take a moment and look at my feet. I've got space feet today. It is Friday, and usually Barefoot Friday, Barefoot Tuesday, whenever there's a show, we go barefoot. I don't know what Jarrett's doing, but we'll find out. Here's a little wildlife therapy before we get into the interview. Space feet was kind of trippy. Okay, this was sent in by our viewer, who also happens to be my mother-in-law, Liz Lopez. And this is all the way from Venezuela. She has a friend from Venezuela. They sent in this picture of a macaw taking a bath. And he keeps turning on the water. I didn't even know these birds like the water that much. Cool. 60 feet. Working on that too. Yeah, so anyway, that's pretty cool. I hope that later on in the next week sometime we're going to be able to investigate macaws because they're so cool. And they talk and they turn on water, and hopefully I remember this video of this person who got had really high water bills, and it turned out their dog was flushing the toilet while they were gone because they like to watch the water go down. Hilarious. All right, let's get into this. I hope you all are ready with your questions and your observations because I've got a dynamite filmmaker coming on. He made the movie Maxie, which I will show you the poster over the bird here in one moment. And this is it. This is a still from Maxie. So that's a little teaser. I'm going to show you the trailer now. Here we go. A live guest. We're going to have to say goodbye to the bird. I know you've gotten attached. Here we go, live guest.
What's up?
I think we can do it today.
Do what? Jump?
Do you see him? It's getting earlier and earlier every day.
No, I don't see anything.
Good. That's why.
All right, there we go. I don't know what happened at the end there, but it's super. I watched this movie, and I don't want to get to that just yet, but very, very powerful movie. Congratulations on this. It's so professionally done, so wonderfully acted, so wonderfully written. In the show notes of the show called Lunch Therapy today, there will be a link where you can watch the movie and you can get a discount on it. There's a code. But anyway, welcome to the show, Jarrett Bryant.
Thank you very much, Joel. I'm happy to be here.
I'm so happy to have you here today. Jarrett grew up in Los Angeles, right? Born in New Jersey, is that right?
I was born in Trenton, New Jersey. Moved to Hollywood, Gower Street, which is right across from Paramount.
Oh, yeah.
In Hollywood.
That's Hollywood Central.
When I was about 3. So I've been there ever since.
Really?
Yeah, then I
And
moved up to Eugene.
yeah, of course, you're in Eugene, Oregon, as you can see by the trees
Yes.
behind us. Um, the Okay, so what's it like growing up in the middle of Hollywood? Is that just crazy, or was it fun? Was it I don't know? Were there a lot of people, competitive actor people around you? What was it like?
Well, it was back in the 70s.
Yeah,
So Hollywood was still blossoming. I mean, there were set productions and shoots all over town. You couldn't walk, say, a mile without seeing some trucks or catering trucks or what have you.
yeah,
So it was buzzing. Hollywood was buzzing.
yeah,
And I kind of got the bug myself, along with many friends who
yeah.
became actors or directors or what have you. And I was more of a writer type. So that's what I dove into. I tried to act, but it wasn't very good.
You knew you were a writer, like kind of right away. You were like, "This is what I
No,
do."
actually, I wasn't. It took a little while before I figured out I couldn't act,
Yeah.
but I did enjoy monologues and I did enjoy writing them.
Hmm.
So from there, I said, "Hey, why don't I venture into writing plays?" And
Yeah.
then from there, I went to television screenplays, and then to feature films.
Wow. So you started out writing plays. There's and what would you where would you put on the plays, or did you put them on? Did other theaters put them on? What was it like?
I did with the help of Blas
Yeah,
Lorenzo.
Los Lorenzo, who will
Yeah.
probably be on the show later to
I'm
compete
sure
with
he'll join
you.
at one point or another.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he really helped out a lot when it came to
Really?
directing, helping to direct and help to produce. And yeah, so our little theater row on Santa Monica Boulevard is where we started.
Yeah.
And then it went from there.
Wow. And so why what was it about acting that you were like, I'm not an actor? What made you think that?
Uh, I think I suffered from what many people suffer from, and that's just not being in the moment.
Hmm.
Not grasping the material and just responding to the actor who's playing against you.
Yeah.
And it was more just reading lines.
Hmm.
So that was my major issue.
But you became very successful at writing. You wrote for a television show, right? You were on a show, New York Undercover.
Yeah.
How did that
Yes, I
happen?
wrote for.
What was your trajectory? You wrote plays. Did somebody come see your play and they were like, this guy's a great writer. Let's get him on, or what happened?
Yeah. Well, I wrote plays
Yeah.
first, and then I decided, okay, theater's great. I love it. You get immediate response from the audience,
Yeah.
but it doesn't pay well. So,
Yeah.
so I went. So I decided to write a
Really?
spec script.
Yeah.
Yeah, a spec script for a show that was big at one point. It was called Homicide,
Hmm.
and I wrote that spec script. And I had a few people read it, and they sent it on to an agent and so forth, and they liked it and sent it on to Dick Wolf's studio on Universal's lot, and they liked it as well, and they
Wow.
gave me an opportunity to work on New York Undercover. So did that for 2 years, and then I worked for a show called G versus E, which was like a
Mhm.
supernatural cop show. And
A supernatural cop show. I
when
never heard of that one. That sounds like an
yeah,
interesting
it's,
one.
it was on cable,
Yeah.
and it didn't last long. It was a one season show, but it was interesting.
That's
It was a good
awesome.
ride.
What is it like? Okay, so Dick Wolf is one of the kind of huge episodic television people. I mean, he's had tons and tons of shows, very successful shows. What was it like to work under him?
Didn't see him much.
Yeah.
And other people run the show for him.
Uh-huh.
Uh, we were on the Universal lot. There was a lot of writers, the writers' room, and
Yeah.
everybody had an idea or a beat of where each character should go. But of course, the showrunner made the final decision. But it was very, I guess it was a really great learning experience.
Hmm.
If you're a person who doesn't like to collaborate,
Hmm.
television isn't a good world for you.
How does it work? Can you walk us through that? Because you always hear about the writer's room and what it's like. Well, what was it like back then as far as that goes? Did one person write the script every week and then everybody else like culled through it and changed things, or what? How does it work? How do you do it?
Kind of, sort of. That's kind of how it works. What happens at the beginning of the season, you'll have, let's say you have a 12-run season, right? 12 shows.
Yeah.
Right. And let's say you have, I don't know, 6 writers, right? Plus the showrunner.
Yeah.
Right. So the showrunner usually will take 3 or 4 episodes themselves. And then the other 8 will get doled out to the writers in the room. And everyone gets a specific episode. And then from there, the showrunner kind of lays out, with the help of the writers as well, lays out, okay, what each episode is going to be about.
Okay.
Right. And where the character is going to grow or change or have obstacles and what those obstacles will be. Right. So
how do they lay that out? How do they lay that out? Is it like an outline or cards?
As an outline, cards, whiteboard, just kind of would write it on a whiteboard and everyone will give their thoughts and what have you, and they'll make changes along the way. And then once they get episode 1 nailed down, then they move on to the second, third, and fourth. But you kind of have to have, okay, if Johnny is sick in episode 1, when does he get cured? Which episode? Is it episode 3 or is it episode 4? And what have you. And so the person that's writing, say, episode number 5 will kind of have a ledger.
They have like parameters. They have parameters and they have like a skeleton of the thing. And who decides so is the showrunner the person who ultimately decides how this framework is going to go for the season?
Correct. The showrunner, as well as some of the executives, the higher ups, including Dick Wolf or whoever is in charge, where they want to see the show go. So that's how it happens. So when you watch a series on television now, it's all plotted out well before the episode is shot and aired, of course.
And what happens if somebody?
But if you don't like collaboration, that's a problem.
Now, are you in a room where people are just shouting out ideas at some point? And
it's more it's more orderly than that. Yeah. People do shout out ideas every now and then, or a joke. Let's say if we want a bit of levity during that scene. But usually everybody kind of sits back and then the showrunner will ask, okay, so what do you guys think? What do you think of this? What do you think of that? Some writers are more opinionated, of course. They want to take up all the airspace. And then there's others who kind of sit back and scheme and plot and plan as to when they want to interject their thoughts. Yeah. I was more that type of person. I would sit back and watch and observe. And then
you hold back. Do you like to collaborate? Because you keep saying like this. If you don't like to collaborate, forget about it.
No, I enjoyed the experience. I think the best thing about it is, when you're sitting there and you've got this train of thought and you're thinking, okay, this is what I'm seeing. But then someone on the other side of the room comes up with something that you didn't even fathom. There was no way you could even get to that point. And you go, wow, that's pretty brilliant. Yeah. And then from there, you can take that idea and run with it and add your own twist. And
so it's kind of like improv, right? I mean,
it's
kind of like improv. You have to be yes and. You can't be like, no.
Yes.
My character wouldn't do that. That's interesting.
Write a play if that's what you want to do.
Did you do improv at all? I know Bloss did a lot of improv.
A little bit with Bloss, but not much.
So Todd Lee says, I always thought the showrunner was the person who went and got stuff for the talent. Oh, you are so wrong, Todd. The showrunner is the person who is in charge of everything, pretty much, except for the money people, I guess.
The production assistant.
That is the PA. Kamala says, no, that's crafty. So craft services, the food people. Showrunner runs the show. That's what the chat room is saying too. There are also production runners, PAs, production assistants.
Yes, PAs.
does continuity, let's see, because continuity get tossed aside for new ideas. Well, generally continuity in TV and film is they want to make sure from shot to shot that things are handled in the same way. Like if I've got a half of glass of water and then like a minute later I've got a full glass of water and there was no time for me to go fill it up, then continuity is in charge of that. They're like, hey, that's got to be a half glass of water.
I think Jose was meaning continuity as in the character arc.
Yeah.
You know, does it continue? Does this, you know, and yes, continuity is a big part of it, but it's more of a character arc.
I think that's so interesting what you're saying about the character's arc and how they arc out, like how the character's going to change. Do you think that's different in drama from, say, a sitcom? Like, does the character change in a sitcom?
Yes, but not as much because people like to laugh at the same character over and over again.
They do, I think, right? And just kind of know it. This is a known quantity. If you do this to this guy, he's going to get upset or whatever. If you put down his mother, he's going to get mad. And that's just, you get to know him that way. Whereas like in an episodic, drama, you might want to see the character change and overcome obstacles because that's more what you're watching it for, I suppose, right? Do you ever do comedy as well?
You want to see people evolve.
Yeah.
It's more dark humor. I like more dark humor than just flat out, I want to make you laugh type of thing.
Yeah.
I like making people laugh at things that are uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well, okay. So now you moved up to Eugene. I like making people uncomfortable as well. But in a funny sort of way. Sort of like we used to have a thing in high school. It was called the Myth Club, where we liked to confuse people who took themselves too seriously. That was kind of our goal. So tell me, what made you move to Eugene? Seems like a complete left turn. Was there something? Tell us about that.
Okay. So right about when the writer's strike happened, the mid 90s or near the late 90s, and everyone was kicked off the lot, studio lot, basically. And reality TV took over.
Yeah.
Right. That's when we got shows like Survivor and The Apprentice.
Yeah. I remember that time period too. Everybody was so angry about it.
Yeah. We were all angry about it.
We were so mad about it.
During that period, I got married. I had a child and then a second child. Wow. And, I was living off of little writing jobs here or there, or I optioned a couple screenplays. But I needed more solid work. So I went back into the corporate world. And when I was in the corporate world, I was traveling for business. So it really didn't make sense to remain in Los Angeles where it's crazy.
Yeah.
In LA, and the traffic and everything else. I thought, well, I'll move my family out of here and we'll move up to Oregon. And Eugene, Oregon seemed like a great place. I mean, the University of Oregon is here. Go Ducks.
Go Ducks. I'm a Husky, so I don't know. We're Washington Huskies around here.
I must disconnect.
No, wait. Yeah.
So anyway, we drove up here on a Labor Day, and it was beautiful. It was gorgeous. It's green. It's lush. Lots of water. Yeah. In Los Angeles, we got lots of water up here.
In fact, we're taking some of it, I think. They pump it down here.
And then I started, raising a family, raising a family. I would write periodically, but not consistently. And then once my kids became teenagers, they stopped really wanting to hang out with Dad. And that's kind of the reality.
It's kind of the reality of raising kids, right?
That's reality of raising kids. Any parents on here, that's what's coming if you have young ones.
Yeah.
So once that happened, I started saying, hey, why not get back into doing what I love?
Yeah. So
I started writing more and spending more time at it, kind of brushing up as to what's going on in the industry, what's great, what people like, what they don't like. And I started writing an episodic, and I was 3 episodes in, and I was feeling really good about it. And I thought, you know what? This is what I've always done. I've always written something and then sent it to someone and then waited.
Yeah.
waited for their response,
Mhm.
right? So I say, it's really inexpensive nowadays to make a film.
Mhm.
There's really no excuse
Yeah.
for an up and coming filmmaker, especially if you're young, right? Grab your camera, get your friends, find people who are well versed with your camera or their camera,
Mhm.
and get some actors together, especially if you live in a big city. And I wrote the script for Maxie in 2019.
Wow.
We shot it. We auditioned in 2019, and then we shot it in 2020, starting February 15th. 2 weeks later,
February
COVID
15th,
lockdown.
2020?
Yeah,
Oh my
2020.
God. That's
Two
when you
weeks after
started
that,
shooting? Right at the beginning of
that's when we
COVID.
started shooting. Right at the beginning of
Oh
COVID.
my
The
God.
shutdown was on March 3rd.
Oh.
So,
So you were in the middle of
so then we were shut
shooting
down.
and COVID happened and they were like, we're going to have to lock this down. And you're like, no,
Yes.
I can't.
well, well, we went dark for three
Yeah.
weeks. We went dark for 3 weeks,
Yeah.
and at that period I was contemplating, okay, well, if we wait another couple weeks, COVID will probably go away.
Yeah.
Everything will get better.
Right.
And we'll go back to normal.
Yeah.
well, I then all of a sudden I realized, hey, this isn't going to get better. This isn't going to go back to normal. Either we're going to finish this or we're not.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's when I talked to my director of photography, as well as the actors, and asked them if they were interested in continuing.
Mhm.
And if we were, then I would write the script in such a way that I'd limit the number of roles, keep the cast nice and tight, and we would all commit to social distancing during that period.
Yeah. How did you first of all raise the money to make a small film in Eugene? Is that something where you got investors, or how do you go about that?
No, that was out of pocket.
You pay. Wow. And you've been running a cell phone store.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes, I've got a little cell phone business here. I stopped
Wow.
traveling for work and opened a shop here, and
That's so
saved
awesome.
some money and put it aside and did it. And then the actors as well as the crew, a lot of them agreed to deferment. Like
Yeah.
they would receive a lump sum up front, and then the rest once we get distribution. Hopefully, in the
Yeah.
independent world, it's always hopefully.
Yeah.
And
It's hard for independent
and we-
films. It's really hard for independent
Yes.
films, it sounds to be.
yes, it is.
Yeah.
And we pulled it together, and I think the actors, they were only 19.
They're
when we
incredible.
shot this
Like
film.
they were. So did you
Yes.
get them from Eugene? Their names
Yes.
are. Let's see. What's Miles Dixon and Liv
Miles Dixon and Liv
Tavernier?
Tavernier.
Oh, how do you say it? Tavernier.
Tavernier.
Yeah, they were
Yes.
quite good, and they were from Eugene, right?
And they're from Eugene. They auditioned, and
19.
She was 19. And the film, I mean, they're in every frame,
Yeah,
and they did an excellent job for that. I could have never done that.
they
at
did an
19.
excellent job. Yeah, I know they were so. How did you? Okay, I wanted to ask you this. How did you get under the skin of? Because it's mostly about homeless people that are on meth. Is it meth that they're smoking?
Correct.
How did you get under
Correct.
the skin of these people that are, because that seems like that's a whole life experience that maybe you haven't had. So how did you
Right.
write for that?
Well, I think working at a cell phone shop, and our cell phone shop caters to the prepaid customer.
Mm.
So it's funny because we have both sides. We have people that have money,
Yeah.
who are on prepaid to save money. And then you have people who are on prepaid because they have no other choice.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And these, a lot of times we would get young kids, 18, 19, even sometimes younger, that would walk into the store and they're obviously addicted to something,
Yeah.
just based on their interactions with
Yeah.
me and with my team.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because if it's a young lady
Mm-hmm.
who's addicted to drugs, she'll call her dad for money to
Yeah.
buy a new phone, to get service, and vice versa, right? Young
Yeah.
boy calls mom.
Mm-hmm.
And they will, it's interesting when you're sitting there and you're watching them and they're on the phone with their mom or their dad. And it's like, Mom, things are great. I got a new job. I just got hired. I need a phone to make contact and make
Yeah.
sure they can reach me. And you're watching them and you're looking at them and you're saying, you're not You don't have a new job. You got like
Yeah, they're just putting
track
up a good
marks.
front, huh?
They're putting up a good front, but what do? You know,
Yeah,
you can't take the phone from them and say, "Hey, mom." In
yeah.
actuality,
Let me tell you what's going
it's
on
still
here. Yeah. Oh, it's so sad. It's so sad, but you also
it is sad.
get
It's
a
sad.
feeling of like where they're coming from. That's the thing about the
Absolutely.
movie is the point of view of the characters is very strong, and you kind of
That's right.
understand kind of where they're coming from, and you know I've seen that couples. The idea of a couple on the streets like that is a really powerful thing. And the story that you take us through, obviously you're a seasoned writer because of the way this is written, and it's done with such heart. And you know, also, how did they? I mean, you must have had a good makeup person because they really made these people, you know, look like they were going through some serious
Well,
problems.
well,
Where'd you find that person?
well, well, that was me, and that was
Really?
Liv.
Really?
We both did the makeup. Yes, when you're on a
Wow.
shoestring budget, you kind of have to do everything.
Wow, that's impressive because I wouldn't even know where to start. But you just really pulled it off. You really pulled it off.
Well,
I-
thanks.
yeah. All right. So we're going to. Well, okay. I want to say there's a link in the show notes for people to watch the movie because you should watch this film. It's such a well done. It's been going around to the film festivals, right?
Yes, yes. In
Yeah.
2021, we did all the festivals,
Wow.
and we did well. We ended up winning, I think, 18 awards in total, including 5 Best Actor, Best Actress, and 8 Best Feature Film. And I also received one for Best Screenplay and Best First Time Director.
Wow. Award
So,
winning.
so
Yeah. It
that was great.
definitely. You know, because when you see independent films, sometimes you see them and you're like, they don't, you know, they're missing some kind of aspect in the look or the acting or the music or something. But this whole thing comes together. The music is great too. I don't know who did the music, but I love the
Yeah,
way it
all local
flows.
artists. Yeah,
Really. And there are some montages of, you really get a feel for the kind of local scene there too. Although you do get the feeling, and it is set, you set the script during COVID. So, okay, that's another thing. Did you have to rewrite while you were doing it? Because you had to
oh,
suddenly, because you didn't, in 2019, you didn't know COVID was happening, but COVID is a character in this film for sure. And the fact that these
yeah,
kids, they don't really know what it is or what's going on because they're not watching the news, which is a really interesting thing, the way they interact with people. They're like, well, you
right.
know, it's social distancing. And they're like, no, I don't know what that is. I don't know what you're talking about. So it's right there in the
Absolutely.
dialogue. So you were rewriting while you were doing it?
Yes. During that period that we were down for 3 weeks, then we took another week. So I had about, I'd say, roughly a week and a half to rewrite the entire screenplay to incorporate COVID so that it made sense. And but what's great about it now, I think COVID actually helped the film. But what's also great about it now is that it's like a time capsule,
Yeah, I
right?
was thinking
So
that too.
no matter when you watch it, 10 years from now, people will watch it and go, "Oh yeah, I remember that. I
Hopefully.
remember those masks."
Hopefully we'll be like
hopefully,
that.
hopefully we're beyond it. Yeah.
Hopefully we don't look at that and go, those were the good old days. Oh my God. On that note, yeah, everyone should check out this film and definitely look at the link there. And if you have any questions, let us know. It is called Maxie. I'm going to put the poster on the screen here if I can. I tried to do it earlier, but it was I got the wrong one. Here we go. Let's see. This is the poster here. And there it is. And you can rent it right now or buy it on Vimeo,
Right.
I think, right? That's where I watched
You can rent it on Vimeo.
Rent it.
You
I
can rent it
rented
on
yeah.
Vimeo.
Really cool.
And if you use the promo code
Lunch Therapy.
Lunch Therapy, all
Is it
one word,
all one word?
uppercase L, uppercase T,
Oh, that's cool.
Lunch Therapy, you'll get $1 off. So it's instead of $5.99, it's $4.99.
It's awesome.
And
Well
again,
worth
all
it.
the profits and proceeds go to the great cast and crew that helped me complete this. I mean, it was a bucket list item, one of those
Yeah.
things that you could tick off.
Yeah. It's more
That's
than
what it
that. I
was.
feel like it's a launching pad, really. Do you, I want to ask you one other thing. Did the cinematographer, where did you find him? I saw him talking on somewhere, but where was he? Is he from Eugene as well?
Yeah, he's from Eugene. He was a friend of mine. We
Yeah.
played basketball together in the older guys league.
Yeah.
And he was a videographer. I didn't really know much about him in that respect.
Yeah.
So we started. So he left basketball and he started working as a videographer,
Yeah.
which was great. And I hadn't seen his work, and he did like this 72-hour horror film fest. And I went there to find a cinematographer,
Yeah.
someone who could shoot the film for me. And when I walked in, I saw him standing there. Oh, Henry. And he's like 6'6". He's a really tall guy. So I was like, wow, what are you doing here? And he told me about his film, and it was the first one up and so forth. And I said, okay, I'll check it out. And I didn't tell him what I was there for. I just told him I wanted to come and watch some horror films.
Yeah.
And his was a 20-minute, I think it's 10 to 20-minute short, and it was excellent. And I could tell that he knew what he was doing behind the camera.
Yeah.
And that he could, give me the images or the imagery that I wanted for the film because of his eye and because of his ability to tell a story through visuals.
Did he do the B-roll too? Because there was a lot of, sometimes you play music and there was a lot of B-roll of the city, and it really established that city and the feel that it has, and the feel of being in a city, Northwest city, especially with the kind of overcast, kind of white sky, And he just did a beautiful job. Somebody has a question here.
Yeah,
Hi, Jarrett. Okay. Great to learn about television. I'm a first-time watcher. All right, great to have you here. Yeah, it's good to hear about the nuts and bolts of television, because a lot of times you don't get a chance to get in there unless you have a job.
Alexander?
That's Alexander, yeah.
Okay, great.
All right, Alexander.
Glad to be of assistance, Alexander.
All right. Okay, we're going to get on to the contest now. Are you ready for a contest? I'm going to bring Bloss on here. Your old friend Bloss is going to be here, and let's bring him on. And then, there he is. I don't know how he showed up all of a sudden. He looks all weird. I don't know what's going on. There he is. I got to get into this. Sorry about that, Bloss. Boney, I don't know how he did that. I don't know what happened here, but let's get to the three of us. Okay, I don't know how I lost. Okay, wait a minute. Let me see. Oh, geez. Boney, we got to get on this thing. Bloss, you got to get on Boney, because I don't know what the deal is with that. I don't know if we can hear. Okay. So, Jarrett, I can't hear. I can hear you, but I can't hear Bloss.
Can you hear me?
Bloss is talking away, and I can't hear him, so it's making it a little bit weird. Bloss, we can't hear.
Can't hear you, Bloss.
It's okay. I got to put the little Chiron down here. Let's see. Guest has muted themselves. That's what it says for Bloss. So Bloss, get that going, and I'm going to see. I don't know. There's some applause for Bloss while we wait for him to unmute himself. Bloss, if you want to go out and come back in, that would be totally cool too. Because sometimes if you can't get the unmuting to happen.
Hello?
I like
Hello?
this.
Hello?
Oh, now we got you. I
Hello?
like this when Todd's like, this never happens on Lunch Therapy. Yeah, Jarrett, this never happens. Yeah, we can hear you now.
You got me now?
Yeah.
Hey, Bloss.
Hey, what's up, Jared?
All right. There, you're blessing us with your angelic voice.
Devilish, maybe.
Okay, Bloss,
Okay.
can you explain to Jarrett how we do the quiz here on the show?
Yeah, we're going to show images or put a multiple choice of sorts. You and I are going to cover our eyes for 1 to 2 seconds. Joel's going to say, look. That gives the hummingbirds a chance to look at it real quick because they're on a delay. And then you and I can answer verbally right away. Hummingbirds are going to try to keep up.
Okay. Yep, that's the way.
And
And then there's a scoreboard
Jared
that
and I-
Bloss is running, right? You're running the scoreboard?
Yep. And Jared and I have a bet for this competition.
Oh, you do? Okay, good. There's a wager.
Whoever has the most points between us, not including the hummingbirds, gets to direct Jarrett's next film.
Direct.
And if the hummingbirds beat us, we're going to lotto the direction.
What if we just want to act in this next film? What if we just want to act in it?
Then you got to submit a submission tape, my friend.
Oh,
that's just picking people off.
It's always the answer. It's always the answer.
know?
Can I see your reel? All right.
I don't want to see it real. I want to see you act.
In live. All right, let's get into this thing. It's time for the contest. This is lunch therapy contest. All right, we're going to start off real easy here. And
Jarrett, hold your cell phone over your eyes.
I got to get Bloss on the screen. Bloss, I got to get you on the screen because I didn't know whether we were going to, be blessed by your presence or not. Hold on. Oh, that's not going to work. Oh, my goodness. This is a total lunch therapy moment. 1 second.
Okay.
Are you?
Hey,
there's
no
me.
budget productions, my friend.
Oh, man. Everybody relax. Bloss is here. Okay. There he is. We have a scoreboard that we have to move up. All right. Now, this is just an easy one. You just tell us what it is. It looks like the chat room already did. There are 3 easy ones in the beginning. Phone's down. What is it?
Slinky.
Okay, that was just a drill. That's a
It's
slinky.
a spring.
That's a
It's
slinky.
a spring for plumbers. A plumber's
Very
spring.
large spring. I have some slinky facts for you. Do you want to hear some slinky facts? It was invented by Richard T. James in the early 1940s. He was a naval engineer. He was making springs to keep sensitive equipment on the ship steady. And all of a sudden he bumped one off the table and it walked downstairs alone or in pairs, I guess. And he got excited. And they took out a loan for $500, he and his wife, Betty. And it took off when Gembel's department store in Philadelphia demonstrated them. And they sold 400 Slinkies in 90 minutes. They also came up with the Slinky dog, the Slinky train, the Slinky worm. And even those glasses with the eyeballs that come out, like that, they came up with those too. In 1960, Richard James filed for divorce, became a missionary in Bolivia. Betty continued the company and commissioned the jingle, the Slinky jingle. It walks downstairs, alone or in pairs, makes us something sound. Slinkery sound? I don't know. Anyway, they got that commission, and that is the longest running jingle in advertising history.
Oh!
Yeah, that's a pretty good story, right?
Question. He was in the military when he created that?
He was in the military. Oh, he was a military, yeah, like what do they call it?
Servant?
A naval engineer. He was an engineer. I don't know if he's in the military.
So he was a civil servant.
I guess so, yeah. He was like a CB or something.
He should thank the military for not snaking that stuff from him.
Snaking the Slinky.
Snaking the Slinky from him.
Snaking the Slinky! All right, we're moving on. I promise you the quiz is going to get harder, as it always does. Okay, phone's up. Okay, let's see. All right, so 1, 2, 3, phones down. What is this?
Oh, shoot. You pull the strap and then it goes like a hot wheel.
Yes,
but
I forgot what they call it though.
You got to come up with a name, and maybe the chat room will come up with it. This is from way, way back. A toy we had when we were youngsters. Todd Lee almost has it. I think maybe he has a typo.
Speed race. What's it called?
Todd's trying.
Drag racer.
Drag racing, right?
Todd almost has it. He almost has it. You guys, it's some initials. Initials.
DR?
DR. Those are initials, but not for this.
They're not. I didn't get one.
I don't remember the name of that thing. I used to have one.
I think that Todd Lee got it, but he's just having a typo problem. He's had too many magic mushrooms this morning.
What did Todd say?
He said a SAT racer. It's actually called an SSP racer.
SSP racer.
Tina Adams said STP racer. Oh, man.
SSP.
SSP.
Suddenly shit problem.
I don't know if we can give it to the hummingbirds because I don't know if we got exactly what it is. But yeah, you pull the string, and the little wheel goes, and it takes off.
Right.
Those are fun.
and slams into a
I
wall.
didn't want
Slam-
one of those.
You,
I didn't.
you didn't?
I didn't want one of those.
Why?
No, because if I had that there, then my mom would whoop me with that strap.
I
I never
hit you with
wanted
the. That probably happened. I've heard of people getting spanked by the tracks. You know, the Hot
Wheel
Wheels
track.
tracks. People would
Yeah.
spank their
So
kids
I had
with those.
that. I didn't
That's
want that.
terrible. All right, that's good. Yeah, some people it probably strikes fear in their hearts when they see that.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
traumatized.
phone's up.
Phone's up.
Phone's up. Okay, who is this person? 1, 2, 3. Okay, phone's
Evil
down.
Knievel.
Oh, he got it right
Evil
away.
Knievel.
Yeah.
Why is he holding a 10-speed? Why is
That's
he
because
holding a 10-speed?
but you don't remember they had like bikes for us kids? So here's a guy who's like trying to kill himself, right? And publicly trying to kill himself. And they give us bikes painted like his motorcycle so we can try and kill ourselves too, I guess. I guess that was the goal.
Oh, he was promoting a bicycle.
He was promoting a bicycle, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he had a.
He promoted
a
bicycles and
brand.
motorcycles as well.
They had those dirt bikes too with the number on them. It was cool.
Yes,
Okay, so
BMX bikes.
anybody know how Evel Knievel got his name?
Ooh,
That's a good one,
no.
right?
Knievel.
This is not part of the quiz, it's just a
Knievel.
little trivia thing. So when he was named Robert Knievel, I think was his name. His name was Knievel. But he would drive his car around town, and I think it was in Oregon. Actually, it might have been Eugene. I don't know. Anybody know? I'm serious. I think it was in
Look
Oregon.
that up.
He'd
I'll have to
drive
look
his
that
car
up. That's
around like a
interesting.
crazy person, and then he ended up in jail. And he was in jail with a guy whose name was Knoffel. So Knievel and Knoffel were in jail together, and somebody said the crypt keeper said, how do you like that? I've got awful Knoffel and evil Knievel both in my jail tonight.
Nice.
Just came up with a name and it stuck. Evil Knievel.
Evil
Spelled
Knievel.
Evel for some reason. Probably because it
Awful
goes well.
Knoffel.
Awful
That guy should've had
Knoffel.
a
What
career.
happened to Awful Knoffel is what I want to know.
Yeah,
He's
he-
out eating some
Went out
knishes.
tasting horrible food and eating bugs.
Poor Awful Knoffel. He survived. He's probably alive today. And Evil Knievel is gone, unfortunately. Phone's up.
He's Evil Knievel's stunt coordinator.
Yeah. Okay. All right. This is a good one. Okay. Eddie, 1, 2, 3. I'm watching the chat room.
Frisbee.
Oh, you guys got it.
How come the name of the product is up there?
The name of
Because
the-
it's not. Oh, it's there. Nobody gets a point. That's my mistake. Boney's mistake. Boney, why'd you put the name up there? He spent so
Boney,
much
gotta get it
time making
together.
this thing that covered the frisbee thing, and then he just puts the word up there.
Okay, you know how
Jeez.
the frisbee was invented?
Tell me, how was the frisbee? I do, of course.
Pie tins.
You're right. Pie tins.
Pie tins.
Oh,
Yeah. And at
you threw a
first,
pie tin. Yeah, it makes sense.
they threw pie tins
They were
around.
making pies. They
Yeah.
were making pies, and they started making multiple pies. When when they got into where they were making an assembly line type.
Yeah.
One guy would
Right.
yell tin, and the other guy would throw it to him like a frisbee. Tin, pat, catch, pie, in, go.
Yeah. UFOs were really popular at the time. And there was a guy named Fred Morrison. He was the first one to name the thing, and he called it the flying saucer. Yeah. And, but that wasn't,
saucer.
but Frisbee was, I think, if I remember correctly from my studies, I think Frisbee was the name of a pie making company. Yeah.
Ah, see, there you go.
And so, I
Like
don't know,
from the Frisbee
Whammo.
family.
Whammo came up with the Frisbee thing. They bought it.
Nice.
The guy who invented the
Yeah.
Frisbee, he made like $1 million. Yep. Frisbee
all, though.
pies.
He lost
Yeah,
his-
every
he
pie
lost his patent.
pan was stamped Frisbee pies. Frisbee's pies. Yeah.
Frisbee pies.
Interesting.
That could be a vintage.
So,
that could
so
be a collector's
basically,
item
what
if
you're
you have an original
saying
tin.
is,
Yeah.
I don't have to make any more films. I could just create a frisbee
Yeah.
or something along those lines.
You don't even need to create anything. Just find something and throw it and see if it stays in the air. See if people have fun. Just throw stuff,
What
random
about-
stuff.
How do you guys feel about diaper catch?
Type-
How about diaper catch?
That needs
after
work.
You clean your
I think-
kid, you wrap the diaper like a football and you chunk it to your friend.
That sounds like a crappy idea.
I don't think that's
to me.
going to go over too well.
I don't think it's gonna go. Nah, but it's a good start.
Guys,
Throw something else.
Alright.
Jello. Maybe you could throw Jello around. I don't know. Okay. Now it's gonna get a little bit harder. Wait, what's the score?
Okay.
Does everybody know? Okay, you don't need to put your phones up anymore because we're gonna move
Right.
into
The score's 1-1.
Score's
Hummingbirds
1-1.
won. Jarrett got Knievel, and
Okay.
no points on the two. We had no points.
Okay. All right. Let's go. So now we're into who said it. So here's the quote. You don't need to put your phone up. You're fine. You get in life what you have the courage to ask for. And those are your choices of who said
Oprah Winfrey.
Ooh,
it. Yeah.
I'm
Oprah
going to
Winfrey?
go with Deepak Chopra.
Wow. This is like a writer's room, and Jarrett is the showrunner. He gets to decide.
John Glenn. Was he in the movie Backdraft?
John Glenn is the first person to orbit the Earth. Orbit the Earth. Am I
He's
right?
an astronaut.
The first American in space, actually, not the.
The first American in space. And then
because the Russians beat us.
were you thinking of Ed Harris, who played John Glenn?
No, I was thinking of Scott Glenn.
Scott Glenn. Oh yeah, who was in The Right Stuff, right? Was he in The Right Stuff?
Yeah.
There's some trivia. for you.
Was he in The Right Stuff? I don't know. That's
I'm picturing him in there, but I'm not sure. Maybe
Right
his chat
Stuff
room
with
could tell
Tommy
us.
Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones.
That's Tommy Lee Jones, right?
No, it's oh God, who else is in it? Well, Sam Shepard is in it, of course.
Yeah.
And of course Ed Harris
Stuff
played
is a
John
little-
Glenn.
It's a little old for me, Joel. You're a
Right.
lot older than
My
me, so I
references
don't
are
remember
just
that.
too old for you. What does the chat room say? Chopra. Jose says Chopra. Tina Adams says Chopra. Guignel says John Glenn.
What if Oprah married Deepak? Would she be Oprah Chopra?
I like that. They do like guided meditations together already, so it could happen. Okay, so what is the final answer again? Jarrett?
Let's go, Boney.
Chopra.
Deepak Chopra. Okay, let's go.
I went with Oprah.
John Glenn. It's not John Glenn. It's not Deepak Chopra.
Oh.
Turns out the lowly PA was right. Not the showrunner. Nice.
Who wants coffee?
Lost.
All right, we only have time for two more. Two more. That's it.
So who gets the point? The hummingbirds?
Oh.
Or do I?
Yeah, the hummingbirds get it because you guys didn't get it.
Human
You got it.
history becomes more and
Did
more
anybody
linked
say-
between education.
Did anyone say Oprah though? No one said Oprah. No one gets a point.
No.
No one
No,
said
I
Oprah.
did.
Blas.
I said Oprah, remember?
You said Oprah,
said
but Blas, I don't know because you're both on the Jarrett team, or are you on the Hummingbirds team? Pick a team.
I'd like to think that
He's
I'm
on my
a team
team.
of my own, Joel.
You're on your own team. Well, next time we'll get a
I need
more
an EIN?
more robust
What do I-
scoreboard, I guess. That's what we'll do.
I'm going to go with Stephen Hawking.
Stephen Hawking. Human history becomes more and more a race between education and catastrophe. H.G. Wells,
Yeah, that's such a
Stephen
good
Hawking,
quote.
Charles Dickens. Let's see what the
I'm
chat
gonna
room's
go
saying.
with H.G. Wells.
H.G. Wells. Interesting.
Yeah.
H.G. Wells, the writer of The Time Machine. Seems
Yeah.
seems pretty appropriate.
It does. Stephen Hawking's would have said, I think that human is the way.
He would
I
have.
don't-
He
no.
would have said
I don't think
something like that.
Hawkins. And
Let's
probably
see.
would have used better words.
Wells. H.G. Wells. Jose says Wells as well.
Stop
Tina
copying me,
Adams
Jose.
says H.G. Wells. Jarrett, what do you say?
I said Stephen Hawking.
Stephen Hawking. Okay, so Jarrett's got Stephen Hawking. Hummingbird's got H.G. Wells. And I don't know. Blas has to pick a side. Okay,
I
it's
did,
between the
H.G.
two of them.
Wells.
It's between the two of them. H.G. Wells. Yeah. All right.
Malcolm McDowell.
Hummingbirds are winning. There's one
Malcolm McDowell and Mary Steenburgen.
more. Time Machine? I mean,
Yeah. Time after time? No, that's a Cyndi Lauper song. Anyway, let's go.
Cyndi Lauper. Oh, this is the weirdest food from every state, just as a little palate cleanser before we get to the last one.
Oh, hello.
In Texas, rattlesnake. It looks like Montana eats something called pasties. I don't know what that is. Let's see
Does
what
it cover
Oregon.
your
I have
nipples?
no idea.
Oregon
Doesn't
says
sound
Your
good.
nipples?
gooseneck barnacles. Is there such a thing? I don't know.
I've never heard or
They
have
made
seen
that
a
up.
gooseneck barnacle.
I would think
Come on,
maybe
guys.
gooey
Gooseneck
duck.
barnacle?
Oh, gooey ducks in Washington.
Gooey ducks in Washington, correct.
Yeah.
And California is sushi?
California is sushirito, like a burrito made out of sushi.
Chorizo.
I don't know.
Those are
Weirdest
actually
food
very
good.
in every state.
Actually, those are
Pickle
tasty.
dog.
Sounds disgusting. I don't know.
Peanut soup. All right, let's move on to the last one. Here we go. Last one.
That's peanut butter with water.
I don't think Jarrett can win, but let's do this last one. People are unreasonable, illogical, self-centered. Love them anyway. Let's see.
Wow.
Mother Teresa would never insult someone like that.
She'd
Gandhi
never say that.
is
No.
yeah.
Gandhi, no.
Gandhi's
Eleanor Roosevelt.
yeah.
Going
I'd
for
say
Roosevelt?
Eleanor Roosevelt.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna agree with that. I like Eleanor Roosevelt too. Look at how simple the sentence is.
The chat room says any kind
Yes.
of barnacle is not good. Howard Aronin says Eleanor. Everybody likes the Eleanor Roosevelt one. Jose says we're very pretentious in Cali. It's a gift. Yes, that's why we have the sushirito. Roosevelt. Everybody seems to be saying Roosevelt, right? Is that like everybody? Like the hummingbirds are saying it. Y'all are saying it.
I
I
almost
think
feel like Deepak Chopra.
Tina Adams says Roosevelt. Jose is going for Gandhi. Interesting.
I don't think
People
Gandhi
are
would say
unreasonable, illogical, and self-centered.
See,
Love
I
them
don't think
anyway.
Gandhi would use the word illogical. He'd just say they're stupid.
that. No.
All right, here we go. Here we go. You ready?
They're ready.
First one disappears. Eleanor Roosevelt was the first one to go.
Ooh.
First one to go. It's
Oh.
either Gandhi or Mother Teresa.
Never mind,
And
the first one.
Must be Mother Teresa then.
Yeah, it's too insulting for
it
Gandhi.
is. It's Mother Teresa. I
Yeah,
didn't know.
Mother
Gandhi wouldn't say
Teresa.
I didn't know she would say such a thing.
Okay.
Well, that's why she helped so many
She's a
people because
little-
she could stand them.
Yeah,
She's a little
also,
cracked.
wasn't she a nun?
Yeah, she's a nun.
She was a nun, right? So
Yeah.
she had to deal with all these dumb little boys that she had to slap their hands with a ruler.
Maybe that's
So
it.
she was like, unreasonable,
I don't know if she
illogical,
taught
and
school. Did she teach
self-centered.
school? I don't know. We got to get up on our Mother Teresa trivia. All right. Well,
Yes.
this has been fun. Thanks for playing the game. Thanks, Jarrett, for being
It
on the
has
show.
been.
It's been super fun, and everybody
thank you.
must see your movie, and you must make another now. You must
Jared,
make another.
we have a problem.
Thanks, Bill.
Jared, we have
What's
a problem,
that?
bro.
What's the
Now we got a
problem?
What's
lotto
that?
pool for the director.
A lot of pool. Oh yeah, the lot of pool. I think he can direct his own movies.
I'll
think
tell you,
we'll let him
Pamela
do
can
that.
direct. I don't know anything about Jose. Yes, Jay seems pretty intelligent. You know, Alexander, maybe Alexander. I don't know much about him, but you know,
I was thinking
probably can
Kamala.
direct too.
What do you think
Kamala
about
can-
I
Kamala?
was too, because Kamala
That's
can
for sure.
direct. Kamala's film Equal Means Equal is very good too. Her
Yeah.
documentary. If
See
you haven't
that as
seen it,
well.
go see it.
See
Yeah,
that
let's
as
link
well.
that up too, Joel. Let's put that on with Jared so he can share that.
All right, sounds good. Oh, you want to? Boney, get that on the screen. Equal means equal. Google it.
We're gonna give you the link to that, Jared, so you can share it with your
Definitely.
social
All
media
right,
and stuff too.
dance break time. I got Adam Pierce.
Oh.
He's going to be playing some Led Zeppelin. Let's get into this thing. Dance break.
All right, everybody, I promise you there'd be a lot of Led Zeppelin, so man of my word.
Good, isn't it? This guy was on The Voice. He's a favorite of the show. He's been on the show.
I'm thirsty.
He also recently won an award, just like yesterday.
Leaves are falling
For these-
all around. Time I was on my way. Thanks to you, I'm much obliged. Such a pleasant stay. For now it's time for me to go. The autumn moon lights my way. For now I smell the rain and with it pain, and it's headed my way. sometimes I grow so tired. But I know I got one thing I gotta do. Ramble on.
Thanks everybody for being here today.
Now, sing my song. I'm going around the world. I'm gonna find my girl on my way. I've been this way 10 years to the day I'm gonna ramble on. I'm gonna find the queen of all my dreams. Got no time.
Is that a frisbee?
Roots. The time has come
Light up
to be
frisbee.
gone. Though our health we drank 1,000 times, it's time to ramble on.
All right, check out Maxie. Check out Adam Pierce's
Ramble
YouTube
on.
channel.
Now the time is now.
Check out
Sing
Equal
my
Means
song.
Equal.
I'm going around the world. I'm gonna find my girl on my way. I've been this way 10 years to the day I'm gonna ramble on. I'm gonna find the queen of all my dreams.
All right, we'll see you all on Tuesday for more lunch therapy.